Have you got a Nissan NV200? And have you got rust appearing here at the bottom of the wing panel? Whether you have or whether you haven't, you're going to want to watch this film. They say that prevention is better than cure. Hopefully, in this short film, I'll make you aware of something that I noticed on my Nissan NV200 when I was cleaning it. It's something that I hadn't noticed before, and maybe you haven't. I'll pass the information on to you so that you can check your vehicle, hopefully save you some expense and anguish in the future. And what it was, I was cleaning the vehicle and I was doing quite a thorough job on the outside. I noticed as I opened the door that there was an area that was filled with dirt, soil. It was damp and it's in a dark recess, and it's just inside the door. Now the area I'm talking about is a cavity which is down here, just at the bottom front of the door, and it's on both sides. There's a cavity right down here. It's not very easy to see, just in there. Now here's a long handle screwdriver, and if I put that down into there, you can see it's lifting up. Hopefully you can see this. It's lifting up what is basically just soil. It's dirt that's gathered up there, and it's very wet. We haven't had a lot of rain recently, but it's obviously a place which holds the moisture. So we want to clear all that out, clear the whole area out, let it dry on its own accord, and then keep an eye on it in the future. Now obviously, if you left that for a while, what's going to happen? It's going to just stay damp, and it's going to perhaps introduce rust into the side of this panel here. It's an area that is, you see it commonly on cars, that it goes rusty. We actually have one out here outside the workshop where it's got a bad patch of rust. Now I've been very lucky in all the time that I've had this vehicle. There's no signs, in fact there's very little sign of rust on the vehicle at all, but there's no sign of rust coming through at the bottom of the doors or at the bottom of this wing panel. But I'd like to take preventative measures to stop it happening in the future. Now fortunately, the measures you can take to prevent this only involve a very simple 10-minute job and only really require 3 tools, very basic tools. Firstly, you need a Phillips screwdriver. Then you need some sort of props or wedges, either a bit of wood, or here I'm using an old plastic brush. And then you need, or you possibly will need, something like this, a little pressure washer filled with just cold water. Doesn't have to be anything special inside there. As you saw from inside, the moisture is still in that soil that's trapped in that cavity, so we need to release it, get it out, flush it out, and it's very simple to do. So let's go and do that. And this is the area in question, and you can see all that soil and the moisture is retained in the cavity just behind there. And I've had a look underneath this little plastic, it's like a little box. In there is a hole which is really to let the moisture out. It does let some out, but it doesn't seem to let the detritus that fills that void, doesn't let that out, and it sort of just holds it in there. So we've got to clear that out. It's quite a simple job. There are 3 Phillips headed screws here on the plastic liner of the wheel arch. We need to undo those. Very simple. Take those out. Now I have found that all I need to do is to take these 3 small screws out of the plastic lining of the wheel arch. Now by just releasing these 3 screws, it means that you can pull the plastic liner forward and reveal the space where all this dirt and soil is trapped inside the wing panel. Just pull the plastic gently forward and you'll see behind there is the space that needs to be cleaned out. At the bottom of the plastic is one more clip, but it's a Nissan fir tree clip. It's a plastic clip and they're easily broken. because it pops in from underneath, and I didn't want to risk breaking it just to get this dirt out. Now, to keep the plastic away from the wheel arch, this is where the piece of wood and the plastic comes in. The reason I use plastic for this job, or wood, is that I'm not going to scratch the paintwork on the wheel arch. And what I want to do is just bring that out. Now, as you can see, I've never opened this before, and you can see this area here. In fact, I'll use this. Look at this stuff. There's leaves in there. There's, all sorts of rubbish stuck in there, and that is trapped. That's not going anywhere. And just very gently, I'm scooping stuff out there. But what I'm going to do is, so I don't make a mess of the workshop floor, I'm going to get a tray to hold all this stuff that comes out. So there's a tray underneath to catch any of this stuff. Now, I can't pull this plastic any further forward because of that popper down the bottom. So I'll get as much as I can out like this. Now, obviously, if you live in an area that's fairly dry, or a country that's very dry, you might just be able to get a blower and blow this out. But here, this is like mud, very silty mud, and I'm going to get as much as I can out this way. Now I want to prop this open, and that's why I've got this bit of wood like that. That's good. And this is where the small pressure washer comes in. I'm going to put water in there, which will hopefully wash out what's left in there, but there's a lot more to come yet. I'm just squirting that in. I'll make it that's it, that's better. And flush that right out. And what I can do is I'll go and do the same from inside. And then just keep going at it both ways until you think you've got it all out. And you can see down here that there's also water coming out from the drain hole, as it's meant to do. So that means that I'm clearing a lot of the soil out. I don't think you can do this too much. Now, I know it won't be easy to see because it's an awkward place to light, but in there you should be able to see no soil, no dirt, just metal and plastic. And that will have the whole of that cleaned out. The other way to tell that you've done a good job is that this plastic block here, which is the drain, will run with clear water when you've done enough. It may take a couple of goes, might take a couple of litres to get it done, but you need to do it properly and get it sorted before it's too late. All we have to do now is take out that prop. I've just got a bit of blue paper kitchen paper, give that a wipe around that wheel arch. You can see where all that muck's being held in there. And then replace the 3 screws. It's very likely that where a lot of this soil is actually getting in is this gap here. It's not perfectly sealed. Now you could possibly put a sealant behind there to prevent all this dust and dirt getting in there and getting trapped in that void. Now I'm not sure that's a good idea or not. Maybe someone's going to leave a comment in the comment section below. I'm not going to do it because I just wonder if there's some merit for leaving a very fine gap there, so if water is in there, at least it's not going to stay and it has a chance of getting out here if this is blocked, but I'm not sure about that. And there we are, all back together, and that cavity cleaned out and the drain hole is now free to run. I'm going to take this outside, drain it away, and I'll be back in a minute. So I've been outside with the tray and drained away the water, and this is what was in that void under that wheel arch. All that stuff. It couldn't take any more. It was full. And all that, the dirt, the moisture, is just sitting there waiting to rust through that wing panel. It's one of these very simple jobs, 10 minutes out of your time, that might save you a good amount of money, either in body shop repairs or, worst of all, a new wing. Well, this was just something I happened upon by chance, and I thought I'd share it with you. If you found it informative, then why not click the like button? It's only one simple click, but it all helps for my channel. Or even better, subscribe, because I've got some new films coming about fixing some bodywork damage that I've got on my Nissan NV200. But thank you for watching. See you soon.